I've actually pivoted away from outsourced sales and I'm doing more consulting work now, but I was doing outsourced sales for quite a while. And usually with outsourced sales, it's companies that are a little bit larger scale. So doing 8, 9 figure plus in revenue, and they can afford to sort of delegate that. So they can afford to almost turn to the experts who build sales teams, who have, the manpower. They can say, hey, here's our marketing plan. Here's our pricing. Here are our packages. Here are our products. Here's what we expect in terms of how you represent our brand, and go ahead and do your thing, hire out, build the processes, build the systems, and bring in revenue with us. And we'll split the profit shares and so on. We'll split the back end. So those are definitely options. I've done that across a few different industries. It's a very successful business model, but the downside of that, and the reason I personally pivoted away from that and decided to do more consulting work is, first of all, you're very much, when you're building outsourced sales teams or you're in that business model, you're very much tied down to the companies you have agreements with, the businesses you're working with. A lot of times they're geographically tied down to specific locations, so you don't have the time freedom or the mobilization that maybe you would like. And nowadays I work with clients in 20 plus countries. I've amazing clients all over the world, countries I've never even been to yet. And it's just amazing, the relationships you get to build, the insights you get to receive as a result of that. So for me, it's a lot more meaningful work to be able to scale out internationally. So that was one problem that I had with it. The second problem with that model of building outsourced sales teams is it's very much reliant on manpower. It's very much reliant on people, on hiring out, on training, on managing personalities. And I don't know about you, I've managed and built a lot of teams and managed a lot of people, and it's not something that's enjoyable. I would consider myself a good leader. I think I have the mental fortitude and the tenacity to make hard decisions. I've hired and fired hundreds of people, and I still have amazing relationships with people that I fired years ago. I still have connections with them because I know how to separate, personal life from business. And people also know that I hold myself to that standard, and I hold them to that standard as well. So the communication is very clear. Also, being a good sales guy, I can get any message across, right? So that's never been a problem. But just generally speaking, managing a ton of people, it's the worst form of leverage, right? You can leverage capital, reinvesting money to make more money. You can leverage media and content like we're doing here. This video will stay up for the next decade, right? Our grandchildren can watch this video and hear about our thought processes, right? So it's a much better form of leverage. But leveraging, labor or people or manpower, as they call it, is just the worst form of leverage. There's a lot of ups and downs and swings with it. There's a lot involved in maintaining that. There's a lot of overhead. So for all those reasons, personally, I just didn't see myself wanting to do that for the next 3, 5, 7, 10 years. And that's a philosophy that I have, by the way, getting into a different branch here. But this philosophy is, if I don't see myself doing something for 3, 5, 7, 10 years, chances are I'm not going to do it. So those are the sort of both sides of that outsourced sales model.